many of you this morning were unable to hear the homily for this fourth Sunday of Easter due to interference on the live stream. So I'm here now in the Sacred Heart Chapel of the Cathedral and to speak again the reflection which I offered during Mass. And it was based on these words which we find in chapter 10 of St. John's Gospel. Jesus said, "I tell you most solemnly, I am the gate of the sheepfold. All others who have come are thieves and brigands, but the sheep took no notice of them. I am the gate. Anyone who enters through me will be safe. He will go freely in and out and be sure of finding pasture. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come so that you may have life and have it to the full." These familiar gospel images of the good shepherd leading the flock, of the gateway leading safely to pasture, might have become so familiar to us that, like the crowds in Jerusalem, we fail to see the urgency of what our Lord is saying to us today. In the harsh conditions of Palestine, it was unmistakable that the lack of a shepherd would leave a flock at the mercy of thieves and predators, whom Jesus says come only to steal and kill and destroy. The absence of a sheepfold and the guardian of its gate would take away any guarantee of finding the way safely to pasture. In these images, we glimpse the meaning of what is truly pastoral in the church and the vital need of the pastor. We might draw a comparison with how before this public health crisis we understood and respected the work of doctors and nurses and care workers and knew the need of cleaners, support staff, delivery drivers, shop workers and many others. Yet now we recognise with a new clarity how our safety and well-being depend on the daily commitment of such key workers. This is the care and commitment we rightly applaud. And on this World Day of Prayer for Vocations 2020, I'd like to reflect on how the Catholic priesthood is a key vocation in God's plan for our salvation. Today we're invited not to applaud the commitment by which the priesthood continues, rather to pray for it. For in this vocation we can say, on this vocation we can say, every other Christian vocation depends, whether in marriage, in the consecrated life, or in the vast mission of lay Christians in the world. Indeed, the more we recognise the greatness of the lay vocation, the more urgently we see the need of priests, of true pastors. St. John Vianney used a simple checklist when he asked his parishioners, "Who was there to bring you to new life in baptism? Who was there to restore this life when it was lost or damaged by sin? Who was there to offer you throughout life's journey the word of life and the very bread of life in the Holy Eucharist? Who will be there to prepare your soul at the end of life's journey for eternity?" And his answer is the priest. Always we stand in need of the priest. And looking back at our own lives, we can see how this has been true for us. For in the Catholic priesthood we meet him whom St. Peter calls this morning the shepherd and guardian of our souls. For there is only one priest, Christ himself, and frail men are called to share in his ministerial priesthood in every generation. As the Church teaches, the priesthood is a means by which Christ unceasingly builds up and leads his church. And we can see then why the Second Vatican Council placed an obligation on every Catholic to pray and encourage vocations to the priesthood. I know from the wonder and joy of 36 years as a priest that I would never have imagined that I was called to the priesthood unless a priest had invited me to think of this calling. I would never have arrived at the priesthood without the prayer and the support of so many I will never know. At Shrewsbury Cathedral, we have a discernment community which today helps young men discern this same vocation with your prayer and your support. And this opportunity at the very heart of the Shrewsbury Diocese allows men to take a step back from the rush of life and draw closer to the Eucharistic heart of Jesus, and so to recognize what the Lord is asking of them. The priesthood has now happily lost so much of its social status in most Western societies, allowing us to see more clearly the supernatural mission entrusted to the priest